you're willing, and if you're from the United States, and if you're paying too much for your phone bill as is, consider checking out Ting. And more importantly, consider checking out Ting through bttv.ting.com, because that'll let them know that we sent you, and you'll get $25 credit on anything you do with them, which is always good news. But we are in the one round away from the qualifying match here for the Ting Open. Spawning here in the upper left side of Breon Terraces, we've got the blue Protoss. It's Patience.
In the bottom right, as the red Zerg, it is Soulkey. Going for quite a quick scout. They both are.
I actually like that Soulkey's doing this because I feel it's so much more likely to see a Protoss player do something cheesy than even a Zerg player do a gold base. Like it's almost like the threat of the gold base has been provoking a lot of these more aggressive builds out of Protoss on this map.
Would make sense. Poor Protoss no longer have the cannons to at least scare Zerg anymore. They're just like, Zerg's just like, yeah, you're not gonna do anything. It would be cool to see a proxy hatchery. I mean, we had, who was it? True. Haha, there we go. We had True experiment with this in in Legacy of the Void, something he did a lot of in Heart of the Swarm, and was actually a fairly common tactic. He tried to use Legacy of the Void on Arena and on, I think once on Breon Terraces. But that was, it's still pretty darn rare, and I don't even know if it was that effective. I think he lost both games. So, it's not going to make it into the meta anytime soon.
Just confirms the natural at the natural base. I just feel like so much of the scouting is just kind of like, okay, good. You're not up to no good. I'm not up to no good. We're just equally up to no good, or not up to no good.
Well, Soulkey might have taken his drone back a little too soon. I mean, it was nice of him to see it wasn't a double, actually, it was a double gateway opener, but it's not being used. So I guess for him, he sees double gateway and is like, okay, depths are going to be coming in here, and he's going to be even more shocked by the Stargate potentially. And for Patience, of course, he wanted to see if there was a gold base taken or not, which he was able to see. That Oracle might just do a lot of damage.
It should get scattered early enough that I don't think it'll be too problematic. I mean, we all know that Queens can, it limits it. You know, you put the cap on 7 kills or so.
Yeah, unless the Queen is trying to be bold and go forward. If the Queen's out of position, you can get a lot. If the Queen's in position, 5 or 6, probably going to go down. The lack of adepts might be notable in a second here. I think that's why the Queens did make it to the front, because he saw the double gateway opener, and he was like, okay, where are the adepts? Like, they're going to be coming in soon, right? And now around this time, that would be the case, but they're not. So I think maybe, okay, what's going on? Sends his lings across the map, wants to see if maybe they're being used defensively. His Queen's still not in position, but he's getting one more Queen at least for the natural, so he'll have enough. Oracle's on the way, was not scouted. Lings are going to get this pylon for free.
This round's nice. I mean, cancels it, so it's not going to be a kill, but still shutting down that means no overcharge. This is a bit shocking that the Lings in the main like this. Oracle comes back home to defend it. So for Patience, I mean, he'll hold this, but for Soulkey, this is actually pretty good. Despite losing the Overlord, like this actually keeps the Oracle at home, burns the energy, and, well, frankly, saves some headache in his own mineral lines.
Yeah, the Oracle having to come home for this was quite nice for Soulkey. So now he can get Sport Crawlers if he wants, but he can also just send the extra 2 Queens into the mineral line. So with 2 Queens covering each mineral line, that's about as good as a Sport Crawler. 2-base Lair is a little interesting to see versus Protoss. It's become more interesting to see versus Terran. As you know, the Nidus room has really fallen off. We saw Hyun try that earlier. Just in general, the slower thirds have fallen off for every single race. Maybe not so much for Terran, but at least for Protoss and Zerg. So I guess he is just playing it safe. He's going to have Roach speed +1 as he gets his Roaches.
So the Oracle only gets about 3 kills. So not too bad.
No.
I guess the 3rd base completes for Soulkey. It does become a bit of a target, so it's a small concern to worry about, but as we see the Adepts, they're not going to be sitting around and attacking a hatchery. They're going to be going straight to those mineral lines. Resonating Glaives begins, but it's not going to be done for this fight. I do want to remind everybody that there's a new Resonating Glaives upgrade or at least graphic for. So this little weird snowball that you see on the upgrade is actually not the same as what the new graphic is. They just haven't updated that yet.
Yeah. The Adepts do shade into the main base. They're going to get a scout as well as maybe a couple of drones. So the spawning pool denies them scouting the entire base. And they get to the natural, so they see the Roach Warren in the Evo Chamber anyways. Unfortunately, that wasn't like much of a scout. You're going to figure they're going to have roaches anyways at some point or another. I think patients will really want to pay attention to maybe a little bit later, see if a Spire comes down, as that transition has been popular, at least on the EU server.
Okay, well, the counterattack should be able to knock down this gold. I mean, there's really nothing here to defend this. The +1 weapons, the roaches, like, they've got everything set up behind this, sure, but the Lings get a very nice surround, and the sentries might burn some force fields, but then the Lings might turn on the sentries if they're not careful. This base is almost for sure going to get canceled.
Yeah, has to be canceled, and now a little bit scary because he used the force fields.
Yeah, icing on the cake. Oops, sorry, I hit the spacebar and looked away. What the hell? That's actually going to be really good because not only does that take out the Nexus, but getting the 3 sentries on top of that, fantastic. And Soulkey's going to do something a little unconventional. Tongue Claws.
It's getting more popular lately, but still, yeah, unconventional. The ideal is to not let them see this happening, right? Like, you don't let them see the spikes in the roaches. You're already burrowed by that time. It can still be used for, like, the shark attacks, like you're trying to get underneath the force fields, but force fields in general have just become less and less important in Legacy of the Void, especially after you killed their sentries.
I feel like it's so much more about the sneak attack aspect of it, just really surprising your opponent and having all those roaches pop up in that mineral line. The problem is that this is a very visual upgrade, and it's pretty notable that roaches actually just straight up become more colorful with it. Like, you'll see so many extra red spines on the back, so patients should be able to identify this fairly easily. And then I will be honestly astonished if we don't have observers watching, you know, typical pathways.
Well, that's why burrow finishing first might play a part. Like, Soulkey could have burrowed right here, right now, and tried to hide it. There's no observer over the army, and there's no army units next to the army, so there is nothing for patients to see this quite yet. It might still be a surprise. Adepts shade into the 3rd base, and we'll have to get the roaches over here. Then he'll notice.
The other thing about this too is like you don't even have to dedicate to it. So like, okay, you've got Roach, you got Burrow, you got Tunneling Claws, all that good stuff. It's not something you have to go with. It's just more of a nice like option on the side, I feel. As he still has Hydras coming out and he's prioritizing Hydras, by the way, over the Lurkers. That is something I find a little bit interesting.
I think the burn of last game might be felt in this one, or he might just be looking for not Lurkers in general. We'll see. If he had, I feel like Lurkers would be good in this situation though, because the roaches would hopefully buy so much time that, you know, if they do counterattack, you'd be ready with like 7 Lurkers and they can't counterattack. Like, that would be pretty ideal.
There's no detection. There should have been detection. Like, I don't know how he didn't recognize this. There's no oracles in play yet. Or sorry, observers, excuse me. He's gonna focus on the robos, thinking that observers are being made, but it's actually immortals on the way. Either way, canceling or even killing one of these robos is huge. That very vastly cuts into production. If Soulkey splits these up now and sends about 3 roaches to each base, I don't know the patient's going to have an easy time responding to this. He's kind of employing the same tactics on the other side of the field, you know, setting out some depths to each of the mineral lines to get some kills. So both players can be trying to trade out workers. Void Ray going to handle the natural base no problem. Main base, however, doesn't have anything defending it just yet, so the army does respond, and in doing so leaves the gold base vulnerable. So a bit of scatter tactics.
His probe count doesn't get too far down. It's 22 workers killed to the 16, 17, still racking up, I guess, because the Adepts have only just been cleaned up, and an Oracle helping out as well. But the army supply is still a little down in the dumps for patients. It's a little spread out as well, so if Soulkey was ready for a push, say, on the 3rd, he'd only have like half of his army there.
Brooklyn Starcraft gets a shout out for new subscribing. New subscriber hype. I have to put the camera on you for just a moment.
Okay.
I will have to be right back real fast, sorry.
Okay. Well, Soulkey gets a 5th base and is going for that Lurker Den, while Patience is just slowly trying to get his army up and ready to go, as well as his tech back up, because the double robo was actually pretty important. He was quite late on the robo. We might have a fight here. It's without Lurkers. Soulkey could wait for those, but maybe that's when Disruptors are actually out, or Immortals are actually out, so trying to hit before that time. Some good force fields stop the Hydras getting on top of his army, but the Ravager shot's still good. Blinks to the left. Gonna try and just play Ring on the Rosie a little bit. The Mothership Core, does he have one? He does. It's coming to the third base right now, as well as that Void Ray, but both of those units can't really help out. The Void Ray is gonna get just slaughtered by the Hydralisk, and the Militia Core, well, she only has one Coated Overcharge, so this is just game. GG, Soulkey will bring it up to a 1-1.